He's wearing the yellow trunks trimmed with blue, weighing in at 9 stone, 8 pounds and 14 ounces, undefeated as a professional. 8 contests, 8 wins, 6 inside the scheduled distance. Coming to the ring as the current Ghanaian and West African lightweight champion from the beautiful village of Bukom, Accra, Ghana, where he is known as the Shaka Laatekwei Hammond. And across the ring, the champion, he's wearing the silver trunks, weighing in at 9 stone, 8.5 pounds. Bringing an undefeated professional record of 20 contests, 19 wins, 10 inside the scheduled distance, and 1 draw. Comes to the ring as the undefeated Commonwealth lightweight champion, making his 5th defense from Bradford, the Viper, Bobby Vanzie. So, sports fans and Sky fans, here we go then, 12 rounds of boxing for the Commonwealth Lightweight Championship.
Fascinating question hanging in the air is how good is this 20-year-old Laatekwei Hammond of Ghana?
Right, you both take your instructions in the dressing room. You know what I expect of both of you. Shake hands, come out boxing.
Bit worrying that Hammond was about 4 pounds over, we think, originally, yesterday.
Well, that's going to take an awful lot out of him. He does look very, very big for this division. But, I mean, how much has that taken out of him?
Vanzie making his 5th defence of his Commonwealth lightweight title here. He's also the British champion. In fact, 7 of his last 8 fights have been championship encounters. Yellow trunks of the young Ghanaian, won 8 out of 8 with 6 knockouts so far. Not many of the opponents mean too much. But he did stop one of them a round quicker than Johnny Armour, if that's any guide, and Armour's a decent class domestic fighter. Vanzie with his tricky southpaw style and maybe underrated power. He's been stopping a fair few of his opponents of late. In fact, the last 3 inside schedule.
Yes, he's got, sorry, and he's got very unorthodox style, Bobby Vanzie.
I was just going to say, Glenn, I was asking the Hammond camp how good he was, and I said, well, Vanzie will be his toughest opponent, won't he? They said, oh no, he's beaten better people than him. But that could have just been bravado.
Yes, it could be. You know, the fact is, he's very inexperienced, very young, and this is a tough task they're asking of him.
You hear all sorts of stories. Apparently, the fabled Azuma Nelson was tipping him for great things when they sparred together at the age of 16.
Right.
But as you all know, there's a fair bit of misinformation in boxing. So let's take the evidence of what we see here. Vanzie, who calls himself the Viper. Hammond was looking for a countering right hand there, but Vanzie was able to slip it. He looked just a little bit open for a moment.
Yes, Vanzie can be open when he throws his shot. He just lifts his chin in the air. Shots come from all sorts of angles. Nothing really out of the textbook in Bobby Vanzie's makeup.
Can be very frustrating, Bobby Vanzie. It's hard to say how good he is, really. We need to see him in with another of the top guys around. It's not his fault that those fights aren't happening. As Glenn was saying, he wants to fight and he fights often. Hammond, big right hand, gets a Vanzie wants to hold on after that landed. Interesting. Welcome back to the Everton Sports Centre, just up the road from Anfield and Goodison. Now look at this, last punch of the round was that right hand, and watch Vanzie's reaction. He wants to grab hold.
Yes, he does. He almost ducked into that shot, didn't quite catch Vanzie cleanly, but it was the right sort of punch to catch Vanzie with.
Vanzie in the silver trunks, left of your picture with the shaven skull, the yellow trunks of Laatekwei Hammond. Hammond looks as if he loves that right hand. He's looking to whip that into play, and that can be the classic tactic against a southpaw. Calls himself the shocker because he has a habit of shocking his opponents, apparently. We think it's a compliment.
Well, it would be a shock if he pulls off a big surprise here.
Don't hold, Vanzie, don't hold.
Well, remember how Azuma Nelson himself came in as a late substitute against the late, great Salvador Sanchez and nearly beat him in only his 14th pro fight.
That's right, but Azuma Nelson had some good qualities and some great amateur background. You knew a bit more about him. But you said it earlier, this young Hammond could be anything.
Struggling to make sense of Vanzie's style a bit at the moment. He is extremely awkward. Vanzie himself looking to whip in left hands. Hammond, we do know, is the national and West African champion. Had a 10th round stoppage of Sammy Ray to win those titles. 10th round suggests he's got stamina.
Well, he's not doing a great deal here, just taking his time. Vanzie's the one who's leading and trying to get his shots off.
Vanzie outworking Hammond at the moment.
Finding it difficult to get his jab on. He just can't get close enough, and I think it's difficult to do that against the southpaw. You've got to start throwing more right hands as Vanzie starts to connect more.
The swelling by the left eye of Hammond. Vanzie stepping it up a bit in this second round, throws punches from unorthodox angles. Hammond can't solve the problem at the moment. Vanzie was due to be meeting another Ghanaian, James Armour, the new Commonwealth super featherweight champion, who apparently is very good. But Armour couldn't make it, and another Ghanaian, Hammond, has stepped in here. Vanzie's round, though.
I've greyhound racing action for you on Tuesday night. We have 8 races from the card at Bellevue in Manchester. Tuesday night from 7:30, Sky Sports 1. Here tonight in Liverpool, it's the Commonwealth lightweight title. Bobby Vanzie has been through some of the early parts of his routine. Back to Glenn and Ian.
Yeah, thanks, Paul. He's well named, isn't he, the Viper? He is extremely slippery.
He really is very difficult to get to, and very late with the corner work there in Hammond's corner.
This is a pretty big test for Hammond. He's only been a professional for 14 months, Glenn.
Yes, they're asking a lot of him, but at times it doesn't really matter about your age or your experience. If you give them the opportunity, the camp obviously to have some confidence in him, they've got to give him a shot.
Vanzie, good body shot with the left hand. And then following it one to the head as well. He's troubled by the hand speed of Vanzie Hammond here, being made to miss a fair bit himself. Can't really get properly into the contest. That right hand at the end of the first round notwithstanding. Vanzie, who fights with a lot of pride, he says he's terrified of letting down his 2 daughters. Used to work in a clothes shop before he became a champion. Now he's making enough money from the business to concentrate on it full time. He's hoping there's more to come. There might be two. Hammond looking short of ideas, and Vanzie's hand speed and ability to throw shots from angles that Hammond hasn't dreamt about, winning him the rounds at the moment.
Yes, and then Vanzie using his experience, tying up Hammond in close and giving Hammond a bit of a run around here.
So far, the young Ghanaian not quite as good as some of the pre-publicity we were fed from the Ghanaian camp. Not much head movement from him. He looks a bit raw, doesn't he?
Yes, he does. He looks like someone that, you know, hasn't had a great deal of experience.
Vanzie now well used to fighting at this sort of level. It really is a box of tricks. Vanzie ought to apply for membership of the Magic Circle.
But does Hammond know any of his tricks? He's going to have to if he's going to try and land a decent shot.
He's looking bewitched, bothered and bewildered at the moment, Hammond, by all this. Another Vanzie round. Welcome back to Liverpool. No problems so far here for Bobby Vanzie, who's trained by Godfrey Brown, who does a good job with him.
Yes, this is his normal work, just getting in the fight more and more. Vanzie finding Hammond easier to hit, getting through with a jab, and, you know, mixing it up quite well.
Round 4 for the Commonwealth lightweight crown, being defended for the 5th time here by Bobby Vanzie of Bradford. 26 years of age now. Probably somewhere around his peak. Now Hammond gets in with a right uppercut. Getting a little close to the Ghanaian. He knows he needs to start putting Vanzie under trouble. He's got him with a right hand, and Vanzie's down. Now here's a switch. Vanzie down in the 4th for only the 3rd time in his career. Well, well, well. Suddenly, a complete turnaround.
Or maybe paid the price for showboating a bit too much there. Vanzie sticking his chin out, and Hammond found he can find it.
Well, we were told this youngster had a bit of a dig, and now we know it's true. Vanzie had to hold on, remember, at the end of the 1st round when he got tagged by a right hand. This time, he was on the floor from it. And there's another one, and Vanzie, again, just holding. His head's all right this time. But that makes this much, much more interesting. Again, left himself open and got hit by a right hand. Not as cleanly that time. Hammond getting right into this now. Just threw a little cursory blow, Vanzie, after Hammond had slipped to the floor. That's why John Keane is saying, don't try anything like that again, son.
Well, he needs to get the hands up now. He needs to maybe just start going back to textbook a bit, Bobby Vanzie. Hands very low.
Oh. Well, you've got to have great reflexes to have this sort of defence with the gloves not up. And he's hit with another right hand and another one. Now, big trouble is staring Bobby Vanzie in the face at the moment.
Bobby Vanzie has to watch that head. He's cut Hammond.
Yeah, I think it was a clash of heads.
Yep, it was. He had to watch the head. He had it right down in Hammond's face, and Hammond paid the price for that.
Well, this is really boiling up here in round 4. Vanzie's been in trouble in this round. Maybe Hammond has just been biding his time, working out what was in front of him. He's getting closer now. He's trapping Vanzie on the ropes, and Vanzie's hands down style is making him look extremely vulnerable. by the side of the left eye, but nothing much.
But the way the heads are going in close, you can see that could getting worse.
Big round for Hammond. A bit of a bad feeling between the fighters at the end of the session too. Here's the knockdown.
Good right hand. Just a hooking right hand. You see where the hands are of Vanzie there. Just a sure one. It didn't really get a great deal behind that punch, but it was enough. But look where the hands are. Look where the chin is. That's where he made the mistakes.
It didn't seem to land with huge force, but it was a short little punch, and we didn't have to take it.
That's right. And this is, the heads are rubbing together there, and that's obviously causing Hammond problems.
Well, Vanzie was floored by Alan Temple and by one of his other opponents, a guy called Enzao, and got up to win both times. He's going to have to do the same here. 5th round, silver trunks. Bobby Vanzie defending his Commonwealth title against this Ghanaian puncher, Laatekwei Hammond, just 20. Remember another Ghanaian, David Tate, coming over here and stopping Billy Schwer in the last round.
Well, I tell you, it's a tough little place, isn't it, Ghana? They've got some good fighters. They just keep producing them. He started something off, Azuma Nelson, didn't he?
Yeah, this place, Bukum, where they all come from, is apparently a really rough area of the capital, Accra. We've got a real fight on here now. It looked like Vanzie just knew too much and was too fast early on. He's having to show some character now, Vanzie.
Well, that's what it's all about, being a champion, going on to bigger things. It's about character, it's about strength of mind.
Yes, about coming through the odd crisis. Good left hand in from Vanzie. Wasn't seriously shaken up, it seemed, by that knockdown. His legs looked all right when he got up, which is usually a telltale sign. But he looks a very strong youngster, doesn't he, Hammond?
Well, he does, very big. How he'll be down the stretch of it, taking all that weight off. That's going to take something out of him.
But there's no way that anybody can claim that Bobby Vanzie was fed a patsy here tonight.
Still just getting messy at times, and their heads getting warned about it again, both boxers.
Yeah, there's a lot of that. Just trying to get that cut away from Vanzie's head, and referee John Keane will have to be on the case. Great hand speed from the Viper. He's come back quite well in this round, Vanzie.
Yes, he's maybe done a little bit more than Hammond. Hammond still find it difficult to connect.
Well, they want to fight on for longer than the 3 minutes. And now there's talking, they want to carry on with it. John Keane, look at this. You only get paid for 3 minutes, guys.
Well, that's true, but it's that sort of fight. There's a lot at stake, and tempers are starting to fray.
Welcome back to Liverpool, where they had a little festival today to mark what would have been John Lennon's 60th birthday. Bobby Vanzie defending his Commonwealth lightweight crown with his back to you, on the floor in the 4th round. But probably just ahead on points. What do you think, Glenn?
Yes, I've got him ahead. I mean, he had the 10-year round against him, but other than that, he's winning the rest of the rounds, and I've got him a couple of points clear.
I've got him 1 clear. I had the first level. Hammond in the yellow trunks. Had to lose a lot of weight last night to get inside 9 stone 9 pounds. That could be a factor here, particularly with him coming in as a late substitute. Will his stamina hold up?
But the styles aren't gelling well. I mean, it's very difficult to see that Vanzie would be in a particularly exciting fight because of his style.
I think that's one of his problems from a marketability point of view. If he was huge box office, the others would be queuing up to fight him. The Billy Schwers and Michael Ayres and Colin Dunns. But at the moment, he's kind of president of the Who Needs Him club, isn't he?
That's right, because of his style. But his style has been effective, and you know, he's reeling off the wins. But he's having something extra to think about in this one.
Getting his glove up to try and block any attempted right hand from Hammond, who's not buying it. He's worried about the counter shot. Still that blood by the left eye for the Ghanaian. Well, the guys on the Accra Daily Graphic told us that he might be a decent fighter, and he's had Vanzie on the floor. Again, the heads banging together in close, and some of it, I'd have to say, deliberate. Look at that, switch hitting Vanzie. Found an angle for a right hand, then a left. Looking to confuse and bemuse Hammond. Loves to bamboozle his opponents, Bobby Vanzie.
Well, at times he's bamboozling me.
And he keeps winning, Glenn.
Yeah, he does. He's very effective with what he does. Very unconventional. But it's effective. It works.
Jim Watt was saying beforehand he'd like to see him throwing some more combinations, just improve his balance a little. I mean, it's a problem Nassim Hamed has, isn't it? Balance. With this sort of style.
Yes, it is, but Hamed, much more box office and much more you can get the job done in a more exciting way.
So let's join Ed Robinson, who has one of the other leading lightweights in the country, Michael Ayres, with him.
Michael, Bobby's awkward style doesn't seem to be working for him this evening.
Well, I think it might have something to do with his opponent being vastly inexperienced. He's showing little respect for Bobby's awkwardness. So you know, the guy's an unknown quantity, and he's very strong. He's very determined. So I think Bobby just has to settle back down. He seems to have got his composure back a bit more now since the knockdown, which I think shocked us all. He seems to have picked himself back up together now. So we'll see. But I think it's the inexperience of this Ghanaian. And also the Ghanaians are a very strong race of people, and they produce a lot of good boxers. So I think that all in all it's proven to be a tough fight for Bobby, but I'm sure he'll come through.
Thank you.
Michael Ayres, who's lined up for a dramatic rematch with Wayne Rigby. It was fight of the year when they met before. I understand it'll go on in December. More or less a done deal, so I'm told anyway.
You got your ear to the ground, haven't you?
I have tonight, yes. Yeah. Not sure it's all great information, but... 7th round here, due to go 12. Vanzie seems to have got his act back together again after his visit to the canvas in the 4th. But could Hammond nail him again? Certainly not beyond the bounds of possibility. Trouble is, all the time Hammond's thinking and lining up his shots, Vanzie's whipping in these strange combinations of his. Well, not many combinations, but the odd single shot anyway.
Well, so often the heads are locked together like a pair of deers there.
I mean, that is one of Vanzie's problems, isn't it? He's not in enough exciting fights.
Yes, that is his problem. You know, his style often makes for messy fights.
Oh, left hand got in this time from Hammond. Cracking shot, really. Vanzie took that quite well. Well, that was a variation. He's been looking for rights all the time so far, the Ghanaian youngster. Oh, countering right from Vanzie. Hammond ate it up. It was a really good shot. But this is where he wants Vanzie, trapped on the ropes or in the corner. And in that situation, there's the possibility of Vanzie's defence becoming very ragged and disorganised.
Well, you wonder what Vanzie's thinking at the moment when he's got a youngster in front of him who just keeps coming, looking to land with big punches. And Vanzie just hit him with a very good one and he just shrugged it off.
I think it's pretty apparent on what we've seen so far that this Laatekwei Hammond, though he obviously has a fair dig, is no new Azuma Nelson.
No, I don't think he's there yet. I don't think he ever will be.
Oh, reeling against the ropes, Vanzie, and having to hold on here. Hammond, he's got him again. A second knockdown. Vanzie springs straight back up again with a rueful smile on his face. He seems all right. Mandatory 8. But he pounced again. He waves him in, Vanzie. But there's a real danger here that Bobby Vanzie could lose his Commonwealth crown.
Well, maybe not a new Azuma Nelson, but he's got some power.
Yeah, he has. And that sometimes is all you need.
And you wonder what it'd be like with a more conventional opponent in front of him.
He's getting to Vanzie. Well, we said Vanzie's not in too many exciting fights, but this in its own way is certainly not uninteresting.
Well, there's the right hand. I think that first one hurt him a bit. And then Vanzie's falling into him and he just keeps trying to get his arms, so he keeps trying to get the punches on. Little left hand. It didn't look that big a punch again, but it was enough to put Vanzie down.
That right hand, the first one that started the trouble, was a good one, though.
Yep, I think it was all an accumulation of that one. There was nothing that clean got on after that, but that first one took a lot out of him.
He more or less just fell over, really, looking for somewhere to hide, it seemed to me, at the end there.
Well, there was one left hand that went in, just a short one, which sent him down, but it was just a lot of punches, nothing really clear-cut.
And on my scorecard, having given Hammond 2 10-8 rounds with the knockdowns, I have the fight level. Here's round 8. Vanzie in silver. From Bradford, oh, countering right, and Hammond's down this time. Superb shot from Bobby Vanzie, walked onto it, Hammond, and he does look more hurt. Up with 7 legs, looks stiff. He's going to stop him, it's over. What a dramatic win. Well, Bobby Vanzie, whatever you say about him, comes up with the goods, and Hammond is in a bad way. He's protesting, but he's very heavy-legged. It's a bit controversial here. 1 or 2 boos in the crowd. No. Hammond is protesting. Look at him. He's protesting with his cornermen.
Well, he's protesting now, but it's a good 30 seconds after. I think the referee was right. I know the crowd are booing, but I think John Keane made the right decision. I think he didn't know where he was.
So do I. I think that was dead right from John Keane. He had a look at him. His legs had really stiffened. His head's cleared now, and he can scream, but the referee has to make a decision based on the fighter's health. He could have been in the situation where one more shot would have meant, well, who knows what.
Yep, I thought it was perfect. You know, it took him a long time to get up. We could see his eyes around here. He didn't look as if he was clear-headed. He got up and he didn't answer the referee's instructions to walk forward. He just looked at him, and I think the referee was spot on.
Well, that was all fairly amazing stuff. Vanzie on the floor twice, countering right hand, wins the fight. There.
Well, it was a good punch. He waited for it. He just committed himself, and just a chopping right hook.
And when he went down, he looked as if his eyes had clouded over, and when he got up, he still seemed in a daze.
Yep, he just stayed down. He stayed down a long time. He looked out into the crowd, He was just looking around there. He stays there for a while.
Now he gets up. Now this is where John Keane has to make the decision.
No,
Come on, walk towards me, he said.
Yep.
He couldn't walk towards
He couldn't walk towards him. He was going backwards. It was the right decision.
I thought it was spot on by John Keane. And Bobby Vanzie goes to 27 years of age next birthday. But I'm just looking at his record now. 20 wins against one draw, beg your pardon. And it's a great win that for him, isn't it, really, in the end?
It was a good one. It shows what he can do with his style. It just takes one punch, and you know, Bobby Vanzie can pull those punches out.
His power may be underestimated. He's done it again.
Ladies and gentlemen, timekeeper Barry Pinder has recorded a time of 23 seconds of the 8th round. Referee John Keane has stopped the contest with Hammond in no position to continue. Your winner, and still the Commonwealth lightweight champion from Bradford, the Viper, Bobby Vanzie. And ladies and gentlemen, please show your appreciation for a very game challenger indeed, Laatekwei Hammond.
Liverpool crowds, generous to a fault. Does tell you something about how fans around the country have viewed Vanzie, like him or not. But let's keep counting them. It's now 5 successful defences of this Commonwealth lightweight belt. Nobody likes him, and he does not care. Now let's see what sort of form he is in after this extraordinary win. Ian's going to have a word with him.
Well, Bobby, some scary moments there against a dangerous opponent. Your thoughts about it?
Well, listen, Ian, what are you going to do when the guys on your own doorstep won't fight you? You've got to go elsewhere. I'm the Commonwealth champion, so I'll face anybody in the Commonwealth. You know what I'm saying? I'm not bothered who I fight. You know, this guy tonight, we knew we were a risky fight. We knew that. Michael Ayres, Billy Schwer, Colin Dunn, none of them will have a piece of me. None of them will. They've said it themselves. None of them will have a piece of me. They're too busy playing amongst themselves. Well, I'll take my titles elsewhere. You know.
Let's just talk about the ending of the fight for a moment there, Bobby. The Ghanaian camp were protesting that the fight shouldn't have been stopped. We thought the ref got it right.
Well, listen, if you replay that shot, a right hook, I mean, my hand is damaged through that shot. You know, I know when push comes to shove, I've got the power. You know, while you guys think I'm just a boxer, flash it down, I'm not, I can punch. And when I'm in danger, I can bring it out the bag. No matter which hand it is, I can bring it out of the bag. All I want to say is thanks to my sponsor, PRS Randolph Victor. Love you. Connections Mobile Phones, Bradford.
How badly hurt were you by those knockdowns?
The first knockdown, which one was that? I can't remember. The first knockdown was genuine. The guy had power. We knew that. You know, we weren't going in unprepared. We knew that the guy had power. He showed that in that round, put me down. The second one was just a bustle. I mean, I had him hurt, as you saw, and we're trying to close in on him. But he had some power in reserves, and he caught me. You know, it's a fair dues to him. Second shot wasn't valid. First shot was definitely.
Well, you came through the crisis to win tonight. Well done, Bobby.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks a lot, Ian.